Hello everybody, it's me, Anthony Couch, a guitarist on YouTube. Today's video is all about this thing, note choice. Now, a long time ago when I was getting into shred guitar, lead guitar, used to go on message boards and chat rooms, they were a thing. And people would talk about a guitar player that they admire and they talk about note choice. And back then, because I didn't know what it meant, I used to think it was just a really pretentious thing that music fans used to sound posh.
I'll have a double short, low-fat, no-foam latte.
And, you know, years later, I still think it sounds pretentious, but this time, I think I understand what it means. This is how I understand it anyway. That's what this video is all about. But before we get on to the ins and outs of where I'm coming from with this, why don't you let me know down there in the comments which guitarist that you think has got the best note choice or note selection. If the 21-year-old me could hear me talking now, he would be very unhappy. Let's all just get pretentious and talk about note choice down there. Who's got the best? Okay then, so note choice as I understand it. Let's take a chord progression. You know, that's where often these things begin. I came up with a little bit of a ditty that I made a backing track, and it's built up off the chord of an F minor 7 and an A flat major 7. What is the link between those two chords? Well, they are relative to one another. F minor is the relative minor key of A flat major, and vice versa. I was thinking, which means, you know, that it's up to me what key this is in, whether that resolution is. But just so you know, that my intention was that this is in F minor, and that every time I play the chord of F minor, that is the root chord. So, anyone who knows me, who's been watching my videos or has lessons with me, knows that I'm all about, especially recently, playing over chords, knowing that you've got chords, and then picking the notes out of those chords as part of your solo. I'm not going to go too in depth with that today, but what I am going to do is just start off with scales. Because if I'm in the key of F minor, then that means that I should be able to play an F minor scale over the top of everything. And you know what? That is 100% true. Theoretically, that stands. The chords F minor and A flat major are both in the key of F minor. Therefore, playing the scale of F minor is going to work over both chords. And that would sound like this. Okay then, so that must mean that, you know, that's just 7 notes, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sorry, that is a noisy amplifier. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Before we then just reach the next octave, and then the next octave, and beyond. So that means that you could just noodle around. You can just... all your favourite licks and minor stuff. Minor pentatonic could work as well. But this idea, this concept of note choice, yeah, I said I was going to briefly talk about playing the chord changes, playing to the chord changes. All that means is knowing the arpeggios. You know, within this scale lies both of those arpeggios, an F minor 7 and an A flat major 7. Sorry. Yeah, there's the F flat major 7 and the F minor 7. So you can do such a lot with just the arpeggios. So over the chord of F minor 7, the notes F, A flat, C, E flat, I find those notes in different octaves on the neck, and then for an A flat major 7, A flat, C, E flat, G, I found those in various places on the neck. Arpeggios, that's arpeggios, isn't it? And that's what you're going to hear now. Just me coming up with a snippet of a melody to just play over the top, sticking with those strict limitations of chord tones. that is one of the well, it's the strongest way that you can create a melody over a chord progression. And it's still sticking with that idea of note choice. I'm not just playing any notes randomly. I've carefully, I've got the dots. I've got those dots. I'm not joining the dots. I'm not doing any cool licks between any of those arpeggio notes, which I could do, which is the fun stuff. All I did was just drew the dots in that, to just play something like... whatever, the arpeggios, just sticking with strict arpeggios. It works, but it's very standard and it gets a little bit boring. So you're not limited to that. You can join the notes up between those arpeggio notes, which makes things a lot more fun. But delving a little bit further into this note choice, note selection, when I was playing around with this scale over the top of these chords, I happened across a scale note that I hated. Let's see if you can hear it in this snippet where I play it a lot. It's a D flat. The D flat clashes with both of these chords. I think you might disagree. This is all personal preference. We know that. But I didn't like it. I thought it clashed. Let's have a little look at why that might be. Over the F minor 7 chord, the notes F, A flat, C, E flat, there is a C. And I'm playing D flat. That is maximum clash. Didn't like that. What happens over that A flat major 7 chord where the notes are A flat, C, E flat, G? Same. Just the third of A flat major 7 is a C, and I'm making a point of landing on that D flat, and I don't like it. I think it sounds horrible. Go away. Go away, D flat. Nobody wants you. That's not to say that you would never ever play it. I just suggest using it as part of a run or something, which you'll hear in a moment when I just play a little bit more freely over this chord progression. The main things that I hope people take away from this is that note choice is a thing. It's not just people being pretentious. It means picking out chord tones, knowing your arpeggios, learn your arpeggios, going up and down the neck in all keys. Yeah, and then beyond that, use the scale, because there's other chord tones. I'm not going to go into depth there, but the other scale notes are available to you, and they imply extensions of these chords, but you've got to use them wisely and know when and how to use them. That's a different video for a different day. But definitely play through the scale over your given chord and think, do I actually like the way this tone, this note that I'm playing, sounds in context over this chord? And never forget that if the answer's no, the next chord that you play, it might belong there. You might think, oh, that's a very nice sound. So don't just discount it. For me, I just chose 2 chords where there was the note C in it, so that D flat clashed with both. Your chord progression, you could have played music theory, a G diminished chord, G, B flat and D flat, where that D flat would definitely belong and it would be outlining that chord. Anyway, here's just a quick snippet of me just thinking about all those things, arpeggios, scales, and avoid notes, that D flat, but just playing a solo how I would compose one, and it's not restrictive to play like this, but it results in a strong melody, I think. Here it is. Thank you very much for watching. What do you think? Note choice, is it as important as people make it out to be? Let me know in those comments down there, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you very much for watching.